So you went on a date. He was charming. He said all the right things. You felt seen. And somewhere in the middle of dinner, he said something that made you pause for a half a second. And then you brushed it off. I need you to go back to that pause. Today I'm bringing down 3 categories of things that a man can say on a first date that researchers and domestic violence experts have consistently linked to abusive personality patterns. Not because every man that says them is dangerous, but because your gut already knew something and you deserve this information to back it up. Welcome to Healing Her. I am Ebony, a domestic violence survivor/advocate, the owner of the Vybe collection, and your new healing bestie. This channel is for women who are healing, not sitting in victimhood, rebuilding, learning so that they can protect themselves the next time, because we're not going to sit at home and wither away and not date any men, or someone who just simply trying to heal so that they make sure they never experience this again. Quick note on my source for today. A lot of what I'm sharing today is rooted in Lindy Bancroft's book, Why Does He Do That? One of the most important books written on the psychology of dangerous men, or abusive men, however you want to word it. If you have not read it, it's in the description for you to purchase and read, or you can just watch my videos because it's the source of a lot of my videos. Let's get into it. I keep trying for you. I gave you all the love I got. So let's talk about what Bancroft documents in his research of abusive men. One of the most consistent patterns he identifies is the lack of accountability. They absolutely refuse to take responsibility for anything that's not going to make them look grand. An abusive man never looks at a failed relationship and says, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What role did I play? Instead, the woman becomes the problem. She was crazy. She was manipulative. She was too emotional. She was the reason all things went wrong. When a man leaves with all my exes are crazy on a first date, he is telling you 2 things. First, he does not hold himself accountable. His explanation for every relationship failure begins and ends with someone else. This is not a man who will say, I was wrong, I hurt you, I'm sorry. That accountability gap is where abuse lives. Second, he's already setting a narrative about women. Crazy is a word that's used to discredit, to dismiss, to make sure that if she ever speaks up about how she was treated, no one will believe her. He isn't describing his exes. He is auditioning that word for you, girl. You will be the next crazy ex. And if you get too deep in it, you will feel like the next crazy ex. Gaslighting anyone? Because that's what gaslighting does. Now here's the part that most women miss. This statement is also a test, girl. He is watching to see how you respond. If you laugh it off, nod along, or say some women really are, he has learned you will accept that framing and he will use it. So here's the thing. I have been completely, even in my most craziest, I'm going to let a man do whatever, get away with it, whatever moments, I did not play triangulation. And I must have wore that like a badge. Because even dealing with my narc donor, one thing he never did was bash his other baby mama. Because had he did that, I would have been out of there so fast. He did at some point try to triangulate us. And it worked on one end and not the other. Y'all can make sense of that however you would like. So what do you do in this situation, right? What you don't do is debate him. Do not debate him. But you do owe yourself a mental note. One mention, just one mention with no self-reflection is a yellow flag. Enthusiasm about it, multiple exes being described this way, or a defensiveness when you probe, that's a red flag. Girl, run. Trust your instincts on that one. And if this does not show up as a red flag, it's probably because you're struggling with some male identified energy that you need to work through on your own. Next up, the phrase, I never felt this way so fast. You're different from anyone I've ever met. I feel like I already know you. And last but not least, I could see a future with you. Remember, we're talking about a first date, girl. I know, this one feels good. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Bancroft describes this as the accelerated intimacy push. Abusive men are skilled at making a woman feel uniquely chosen, seen in a way that no one else has seen her before. very quickly. This is not by accident. Even when a man is not consciously aware, he's using it. You will be surprised at how uneducated some abusive men can be. A lot of times the woman being abused is actually more educated, but I'll have to get into that in another video. What is actually happening underneath that statement is this. He is creating a fast and intense emotional bond before you've had enough time to observe his behavior in real life situations. Before you've seen him handle disappointment, before you've seen how he treats people who can't do anything for him, before you've seen a version of him that isn't a performance on the first date. The accelerated bond is the foundation of trauma bonding later. The attachment is built fast and deep, which makes leaving feel like you're almost leaving something profound, which also makes you keep trying and keep trying, because if only this aspect didn't exist in this relationship, this would be the love of my life. Healthy love builds over time. It is not a flood on the first date. Any intensity that arrives before trust is earned is not intimacy. It is a hook and a trap. And notice, if you express hesitation or pull back slightly, what's his response? A secure man will respect your pace. A man running a love bombing play will escalate it. When he feels rejected, he will push harder. And that reaction tells you everything. So what are we doing? We're receiving it warmly and we're watching the timeline. If it don't make sense, I don't care what you're feeling emotionally. I don't care if you're feeling like this man is the love of your life. I don't care if you have so much in common. You seem like you're so much in alignment. And we will talk about mirroring at another time. If it don't make sense, if it's not logical, pay attention. Real interest shows up consistently over weeks, over months, not in speeches on a first date. So in this case, let time be your filter. So real quick, we're not monetized yet on this channel. So please like the video. Please subscribe. Help me grow this channel so we can help each other do better, because these men probably won't. As I stated at the beginning of the video, I am the owner of the Vybe collection. If you would like to support this channel, that is a way that you can do so. The Vybe collection is a waist bead business. I use it as a healing tool for women to reconnect with their body, but also have them be a little bit more intentional about the decisions they make. So for instance, this particular season, I dropped non-negotiable. No explanation needed. I have dropped stillness, because sometimes we have to be still. I have dropped quiet knowing, a strand that is used to help you be more intentional about listening to your gut and your intuition. I am in a process of dropping no contact. No words need to be said. And I just dropped recently, so reclaiming back everything that was taken from you in that toxic relationship. I make every strand by hand, and I created the line for women who are doing exactly what you are doing now and what I have had to do before. Learning to trust themselves again, learning to read the room, learning to choose better by starting to choose themselves. Each strand has a name and intention. Wear what you are becoming. Link in the description area. Go check them out. Next set of phrases. Women these days do not know how to treat a good man. I'm a provider. I just want a woman who can appreciate it. I just need someone who's loyal. All of these said before he even knows you. This one can be subtle. It can be taken as, oh, he's just a man who knows what he wants. He's experienced some things and this is what he wants, right? But it's also the most important one. Bancroft identifies this entitlement as the core operating system of an abusive personality. Not anger, not trauma, not stress, entitlement. The belief that he deserves a certain kind of treatment, a certain kind of woman, a certain kind of relationship. And the belief that if he does not receive that, then it's something wrong with her. Goes along with the incels, right? Instead of them looking in and saying, what could I be doing wrong to not be likable, or what inner work could I be doing? They tend to have this angry stance against women. It's all women's fault that they are alone or undesirable. When a man makes a sweeping statement about what a woman owes him or what a good woman looks like on a first date, he's not sharing his preferences. He is announcing his scoreboard, and you are already being measured against it, girl. The framing does something specific. It positions him as the standard and you as the variable. He's the good man. Question is whether you'll be woman enough to deserve him. That's not partnership, that's an audition, and it's an audition that you will be auditioning for the rest of your life. Because as long as he can project and make you have to earn him, he never has to earn you. And furthermore, Here is where it connects directly to future abuse. When you inevitably fall short of his standards, not because you failed, but because his standards are designed to be unachievable, the entitlement gives him permission to punish you for it. The anger, the contempt, the control, in his mind is justified. You didn't hold up your end, and he's simply responding. That logic is in the sentences on the first date. So what are we doing here? We're asking follow-up questions. Not confrontationally, curiously. What does that look like to you? A secure man, a safe man, can have a real conversation about it. An entitled man will double down, get vague, or get defensive. His response is the data you need to collect. The reason I'm addressing things to watch out for on their first date is because it is imperative that you act sooner than later in situations like this. Here's what nobody tells you about leaving early. 6 weeks in, leaving is a conversation. 6 months in, leaving is a process. 2 years in, after you've moved in, merged finances, introduced him to your children, built a life together, leaving is a crisis. The bond deepens, the isolation increases, the version of you on that first date that trusted your gut gets further and further away. And he knows that. So he's counting on that time to do the work for him. So when you see these signs early, and you will see them because they show up early on purpose, you have a clean, uncomplicated window where you can simply not go on date 2. You don't owe him an explanation. You don't owe him a chance to change. You do not owe him the benefit of the doubt when your gut is already speaking. I want to speak to the girl who feels like this is judgment, because this was once me. I once felt like I can't expect everyone to be perfect. And everybody has their little nuances, right? I have some red flags about me. And I'm okay because I'm healthy. I'm okay with a man saying that and walking off. By all means, holla at your girl, right? But also, considering this is a life situation, you absolutely cannot be concerned about feeling judgmental. This is a matter of the safety of your kids, the safety of your family, your livelihood as a whole. It is so much harder to leave once you're in, attached, and have all these things connected than it would be on that first date. I promise you will not regret listening to your gut, like ever. Leaving at 6 weeks does not require a safety plan, but leaving at 6 months might. And leaving at 2 years will. This is why this information matters now. This is why this video matters now. If you're watching this and you've already passed the first date, already invested, already unsure, I'm in the process of creating an exit blueprint course that will help make sense of everything you're experiencing, the gaslighting, the love bomb, the cycle of abuse. And once you got that clarity, this course will also help you assess what options you have for your next step. The link is in the description area. It's not too late. Join the waitlist. You'll get special pricing and bonuses once the course launch. But understand, the sooner you move, the more options you have, the easier it will be. Trust your gut. That pause you felt in the middle of that dinner, it was not nothing, and it was never nothing. And I could tell you firsthand, the worst feeling is to go back to conversation 1 and see that red flag when it's too late. Share this video with the woman in your life who's dating right now. Share it in your group chat. I need y'all to do more than vent about men. Not every first date leads to somewhere dangerous, girl. But every woman deserves to know what to listen and look out for. Drop a comment and let me know which one of these landed for you. I'm reading all of them. And until next time, love yourself, protect your energy, and deal with life's bullshit with grace and gratitude, girl. Love ya.